What's up, sports fans? This is Big Al here. I had my blog up about a week ago. I've got 4 blog posts, another done sportsblog.com, and I just kind of signed up to do it, kind of just to get my thoughts out there, kind of just goof off and do whatever. And I was getting some positive feedback from my friends. My friends were telling me it was really entertaining. I haven't really heard feedback from anyone outside my friend circle, but one guy suggested to me on Facebook that I should start a vlog. So I'm sitting here thinking, vlog, what does that even entail? Do I have to buy one of those circle light things to light my face up? Do I have to get a microphone? Do I have to get a backdrop? Like, what do you even do to get a vlog, right? So I'm mulling it over, and I'm like, sounds like a lot of work. I don't know if I want to do it. I love talking about sports, but I hate the sound of my own voice. So, where do we even go from here? I was listening to one of my buddy's podcasts. He was talking about starting the podcast. He didn't want to, but he was like, if you just jump in and do it, then your first one's always going to be bad, right? So when I think about bad firsts that go up to great things, you think about Star Wars, right? Even though the first Star Wars movie isn't the very first one ever made, the Phantom Menace was the worst one, but it got better from there, right? You work your way up. So this is my Phantom Menace. This is my pilot. This is me, raw, unedited. I have no idea how to work video editing software, so this is just me, all right, talking about sports. So the first thing I wanted to bring up is the Washington R words. So yesterday, the Redskins announced that they were going to take their name, which is offensive to Native American people, and they said they're going to change their name, right? So the best way they can go about this is they have 2 options as far as I can see it, right? I've seen 2 options on the internet that make total sense, and the first one was the Red Wolves, the Washington Red Wolves. Now, they already said they wanted to keep their color scheme, the burgundy and the yellow. So if we think about the Red Wolves, that's actually kind of a cool idea, right? There aren't any Wolves already in the NFL, and I think it'd be a kind of a badass mascot, a wolf. Yeah, who wouldn't want to be a wolf, right? The other one's the Washington Red Tails. So the Red Tails were a group of African-American men that were fighter pilots in World War II, and they were their own squadron. They called themselves the Red Tails. They were the Tuskegee Airmen, right? A little history lesson for you in my Phantom Menace blog. So the Red Tails would actually be a tribute to these African-American fighter pilots. I think that's actually the best option, the Washington Red Tails. I've seen mock designs on Twitter and stuff like that, but there's so many ways they can botch this. They want to stick with the burgundy and the yellow theme. They could do something stupid. They could name themselves the Reds, or they could name themselves. I saw one guy. He was making fun of white people. He said he had a Redskins style shirt on, but it said the Caucasians on it. Could you even imagine that? A team full of Caucasians. They lived that 60, 70 years ago. We would never, ever want to live that again. I've seen those games, the all white people games. I've played in those games. I do not want to watch that on TV, right? Because they could totally botch this. They could choose a terrible sports name. They already have probably one of the worst stadiums in the league. They're not that great of a team. They don't know if they have a franchise quarterback in Dwayne Haskins. This is something they need to step up and use as momentum to push them into the playoffs, right? We've seen this a couple times. In 2002 when the Anaheim Angels, then the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim now. Don't get me started. I'm an Angels fan. All right. But in 2002, they were blue and white. And before 2002, they changed it to red. And instantly the next year they won the World Series, right? And I'm not saying it doesn't correlate that changing your color wins you a World Series, but it's an idea. It's a confidence booster. They need to take whatever this is, turn the franchise around, because the NFC East is winnable every year. You got the Eagles, who are kind of consistently towards the top. You got the Giants, who kind of consistently suck. And then you got the Cowboys, who it could be one or the other, right? So you could easily be good in that division. So you just need a little bit of momentum. And I think the Washington Red Tails could push that momentum a little bit into a better situation in the NFC East, right? Another thing I wanted to bring up in sports is college football. We are so close to losing college football this year. I'm so mad. They were talking about EMCC and Indy, the last 2 schools that they did the Last Chance U on. They're talking about those schools that have already moved their schedules into spring. So they're not going to play any fall games. They're just going to go spring games. All the Power 5 conferences have already announced that, starting with the Big Ten and the Pac-12, announced that they are doing conference-only schedules. And the reactions from stuff like that are pretty funny. You got players from Notre Dame who are not in a conference technically saying, who are we even going to play? Who does Notre Dame get if they're not even in a conference? And then there's another guy on Notre Dame that said, it's good to know that the coronavirus only gets you if you play out of conference. So, another thing that just happened this morning, Myles Garrett, the guy that almost murdered, he very well could have murdered Mason Rudolph. Myles Garrett gets a 5-year, $125 million extension. That's assault right there. Like Adam Schefter tweeted that night, assault. He assaulted that man, Adam Schefter says. He assaulted him. Myles Garrett swung his helmet at Mason Rudolph, and he should have knocked him a little bit more. Mason sucked last year, but he could have killed the guy. It could have been looked at as attempted murder or anything like that. He's a decent player, first overall pick. He's got some sacks to his name. He's a solid player. 5 years, $125 million, highest paid defensive player in the league now. Wasn't worth it. You got a guy that swung his helmet. That makes him the highest paid attempted murderer since OJ, pretty much. I'm not going to knock the guy for being mad. I mean, he thought he heard a racial slur, and it was never really proved. The NFL said their tapes didn't really do anything. So, I don't know, 5 years, $125 million. He stole from them right there. That guy got cashed out. Chris Jones had got a contract earlier from the Chiefs as an interior defensive lineman. He doesn't get the sacks, but he stuffs. Now, I mean, that guy, he deserved to be the highest paid D tackle in the league, but you got Myles Garrett. I don't know. I think Warren Sapp hit it on the head. I think he takes plays off. I don't think he's always the guy that's going to go get you the clutch sack, like a TJ Watt or Cameron Jordan. You got all those guys I think should get paid more. And TJ Watt's contract's coming up next year, so hopefully, fingers crossed, pay that guy so much money. All right. Well, this has been fun. I mean, we only have 3 topics to really talk about today, but thanks for watching my vlog. Go subscribe on my YouTube page, Another Dumb Sports Vlog. Go read my written vlog if you're old school. Read it online, check it out. Trying to put content up there a few times a week. Might try to do this more and more as sports comes back. Just try to record some videos on my thoughts. Follow me on Twitter, Big Bad Behringer. That's all I got. Thanks for tuning in.